Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Cinema A to B. In our continuation of a season of sci-fi, Ben and I are going back to 2009, going to be talking about Neill Blomkamp's District 9. Ben, let's get right into it.
A modern sci-fi classic at this point, and it had been a while since I'd watched it in its entirety, probably a good decade or more. Largely got no complaints. Even from a visual effects standpoint, it's 95% of it's held up really, really well, even up against modern effects work. And we'll get into why that is, but the performances are probably more impressive to me now than when I first watched it. Certain sequences hit even harder than they did before, as I'm just a more mature person. The whole sequence where they're making him test out those weapons, it was devastating in the theater, and I just watched this last night. It was even worse. I was like, wow, this is worse than I remember. And I think that's the strength of this movie, is it's like about the characters. It's not really even about the spectacle. And they don't even shoot it in a spectacle kind of way. Like it's heavily grounded. It's a combination of CCTV and then MNU's own like documentarian, and then the movie will deviate from that eventually into just a traditional like film. And then you have interviews, and it's just, I guess I was more impressed now, having been in video production now for close to 25 years now, on all the moving pieces that make this thing work from just the way it's shot. Like that was my big takeaway. I was like, it's almost invisible on the first time I watched it. The combination of different camera types and like the camera source, and it's just, the edit job in this is just superb to combine all that together and have it feel cohesive, and it's not distracting. And like I realized that like the MNU like like the logo like was ghosted on the bottom right for like long stretches in the movie, and I'm like, how did I not notice that in a cinema? Was that not on the theatrical? Like did they add that for like home video? And I don't know, I think it was there the whole time. I just don't notice.
No, it's just because it feels so kind of real. It feels so, it should be there that you don't really, it doesn't call attention to itself. It's not like saying, hey, look, it's just like that's what would happen if you are doing your own new branded like documentary of this. You're going to have your brand at the bottom right or bottom left or where, like somewhere on it, watermarked in. And it makes it, like you kind of said, it grounds this even more. It takes it out of kind of feeling out of this world into just being like, oh yeah, this could happen anywhere kind of a thing. So yeah. I kind of am right in line with you. So I remember we saw this in the theater, and I was absolutely stunned by this film. I remember going like thinking, this is a heavy film. This is a tough film to watch. And so I think maybe I watched it one more time after I'd gotten it on DVD, but I hadn't seen it since. So like it's been, easily since like probably 2010 since I've seen this movie. And so Lauren and I sat down and we watched it, and I was blown away at just how good this movie really is, and was stunned that it held up much like you. Like it wasn't even like the CGI, just that the story still hit, and like in a lot of ways, like you said, the emotional beats hit even harder than I remembered. Like not only did it live up visually stunning or like the storytelling, it also, the emotional beats held up to the first time I watched it. And I remember this movie pretty well. Like I knew all the story beats. It wasn't like I had forgotten what happened. I did actually, like kind of like you, block out him testing the guns, and that was a brutal reawakening of like, oh yeah, they do oh, this is rough, this is tough, but it's stunning. And then also, for me, the biggest thing is the fact that the main guy, Sharlto Copley or whatever, he's not an actor. Like literally, he's just friends with Blomkamp, did like just happened to like be around, and Neill was like, "Hey, can you be in the short film with me for the basically the District 9 short film?" He was like, "Sure." He did it, and then Neill basically wrote the movie for him. Like this part was like, "You have to be in it," and so the guy was just like, "All right," and now he's got a career, and he's phenomenal in
Yeah.
this. I can't. I don't know what to say, but there's such a reality to him. There's such an ease that he portrays this character. And I know that's not him. Like, it's not like that's the kind of character he is. I mean, I'm sure there's a little bits and pieces of him in it, but he just plays this so flawlessly that the transition from being basically MNU's guy and he's behind all of it to this character driven to like now he's questioning everything and kind of dealing with all of the blowback and the problems that actually MNU is causing. And that switch, like, it's amazing. It's absolutely stunning what he does in this and what Neill has written into this entire piece. I mean, so I mean, I know it's loosely based off an actual like real event that happened called District 6 or whatever, where they did move a uh, basically a populace that had kind of seek shelter or whatever. So he's pulling a little bit from that, and so there's definitely some heavy emotional beats. But even with dealing with aliens from outer space, it still hits. It's still he's able to get you to really connect with that one alien and the kid alien, and kind of really like feel their plight, and everyone just going, they're living in squalor, they're being taken advantage of, they're listless, they don't know what's going on, and they're being treated terribly. And so to get the audience members to kind of root more for the alien than for the human race is impressive.
It is. I mean, you have, it's one of those things. He's not going to try to mask that this is basically parallels 95% of refugee crisis kind
Hmm.
of situations in pick any war torn region on earth. And this is a lot of what this looks like, kind of dehumanizing the incoming populace, and even down to like the fact that the alien leadership were like gone or
Hmm.
died. That's very common with a refugee crisis. You have people that where the kind of leadership is, there's a vacuum. And yeah, it definitely turned it on its head that it's like, yes, this is a very technologically advanced like race of aliens, but they still have their weaknesses of like from a social structure, and like that most of them are kind of drone worker bees, and so they're not really capable of like pulling themselves up by their bootstraps
Hmm.
necessarily, is really interesting. I just couldn't get over back to the scene where they're cattle prodding him into
Hmm.
to operating the weaponry. Even prior to that, how fast they dehumanize him is just horrific, like very chilling. I mean, he's awake and they're discussing
Killing him
yeah,
and
and
opening him
parting
up.
him out like
Yeah.
he's just government property is really very much reminiscent of like Nazi medical research. I mean, that's pretty much what the parallel was. But yeah, I think the credit of this, the for me, what makes it work is the script, is the character arc of Vickers, and him starting out as this kind of naive goofball, and by the end he's self-sacrificial and brave, where he was a coward before. And yeah, he even runs away inside the mech
Hmm.
suit until he finally kind of comes to his senses, like, wait, who am I fighting for?
Hmm.
Yeah, I enjoyed it every bit as much as the first time I saw it. It was, and the action is just ridiculously good. It's like a combination. I'm trying to think what the pitch meeting was for this. If well, I know it was supposed to start out as it was a Halo film
Yeah.
originally, and even you can even see the weaponry they've repainted.
Hmm.
They'd already built props, and Bungie had pulled the plug pretty late in the process, from what as I recall.
It's still crazy the fact that you're slated to do this Halo movie. You walk away, then Peter Jackson says, "Hey, here's $30 million. Go make a movie."
Hmm.
Like,
Yeah,
ridiculous.
and
But
I have to give Peter Jackson a lot of credit here because I think I feel like he's kind of the secret sauce in this of why Blomkamp has not really even remotely achieved this level of filmmaking
Mm-hmm.
since. Because as far as I know, Jackson's not really heavily involved with either Elysium or Chappie. And so I think Neill's extremely talented, but I have to think that Jackson was fairly hands-on in guiding him through the process of making this one. And not to take anything away from Blomkamp, but I can tell like that was a good team up. And
Yeah.
Jackson's a busy guy, and so it's not like he was going to necessarily be able to get him for those follow-up movies, but
And it could be something along the lines of being a one-trick pony. Like this was his one kind of great idea.
maybe,
Because
yeah.
I like Elysium. I think it's still good, but it's very similar in nature, like storytelling to this, and just not doesn't hit nearly as hard. It's a little bit more by the numbers. And Chappie's fun, and by that I mean it's not a fun movie to really watch. It's also tough, but like it's not. I think he's trying to like do the same kind of the dehumanization storyline that he got in District 9 with robots kind of a thing, and
Well,
just
he's done it
it's
3 times because that was
yeah
Elysium's premise as
yeah.
well.
So he's trying to tell the same story. So
I think you got to branch out more than that. I don't have a problem with somebody staying in the sci-fi space, but I think eventually it gets kind of redundant
mhm.
when you're, especially the really, really political narratives going on in all 3 of those movies. And this one I think is handled the best, and there is been a long rumored District 10, but I think they're having a hard time getting a script that is like can justify doing a sequel. And frankly, they've kind of lost their window on. I don't think it'll ever happen. I think they lost their window after about 5 years,
Mhm.
7 years after this. It really, I think all the momentum was gone, which is unfortunate because I did want to see Christopher come back and fulfill his promise and
Mhm.
whatever that narrative looked like.
Yeah, how that was going to be of going back and then to his home planet and coming to like, is there more of them? Is he going to come back with another ship to take all of the current ones,
Well,
or is his
have you heard the dark theory?
that his homeworld's destroyed, or that they were like
No.
a no?
No, the dark theory is that no one on that ship
Was
originally
original.
looked like a prawn.
Interesting.
That they've all come in contact with the goo, basically, and been transformed.
Hmm.
I don't remember where I came across that. Probably Reddit.
Everything's on Reddit.
But that was like a normal thing, like that it's possible that they were a slave race and that they all get turned into that from all over the
And
galaxy.
Christopher's the actual. He's actually one of that race, and he's going around and
Maybe
creating
it's
his
really
own.
interesting that he knew that
Yeah.
it would turn him into
Hmm.
a prawn.
Yeah. Get one of those things. Yeah. So no. I mean, yeah. So I think going back to what you said of like they kind of lost their window. Like no one's no. I mean, in my circles and people talk about it, I don't really see anyone talking about this movie anymore. Not
Mm-mm.
really. Like it.
No.
I've seen like once or twice in the last probably like 5 to 10 years, but really it feels forgotten for the most part. Like it was like not like appreciated, but we don't talk about it anymore. Like we have moved past. There are other movies that have eclipsed it
Well,
as great sci-fi.
I don't think that its world that they've built is as, what's the word? I don't feel particularly transported
Hmm.
like I do, even though the script is better than Tron Legacy.
Mm.
Tron Legacy just transports you to a place in time that's just so unique that it kind of makes up for the fact that the plot is basically a rehash of the original. This, the script's better, the performances are better, the character arc's better, but it almost feels too grounded in reality, like for its own good. Johannesburg, like they come in 1982. The backstory is very rich, but it almost tries too hard to be like real world.
Hmm.
There's not that much suspension of disbelief once you buy into the fact these aliens have come in the 80s and have been here for 20 years and their tech is real advanced. It's like, and even the tech itself isn't like whoa, it's just super destructive, like people exploding into goo, and which I still kind of laughed at. I was like, there was a lot of nice just practical effects where you could tell they had a guy standing there, and then in the next frame they just blew up gelatin and fake. You know what I mean? Literally, like one frame the guy's there, the next frame it's the gelatin and fake blood
Exploding, yeah.
exploding, and it was like so effective.
I mean, it looks great in the sense that it feels real and it's much more visceral than CGI, but it's definitely not fun to watch. I mean, when he's blowing up pigs or other things, but like when they bring out the one prawn for him to shoot, it's still devastating. I
And
mean, so
him
many
trying to
years later, I know.
talk him out of it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, bring
and
me
him not
back a
even wanting
pig.
to do it. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, I'll shoot if you bring a pig.
The
Yeah.
one that is really satisfying though is the warlord, the
Oh,
Nigerian warlord
yeah,
that gets it right in the head, and then it like his head swells up, and then
yeah,
that
yeah.
one was pretty. By the way, this film did not go over well in Nigeria.
No, I think they ban it. It's not allowed to be
They
like shown in
mhm,
Nigeria.
yeah,
Yeah. I,
gotta have
you
a.
know, we all got to be bad guys at some point. It was just your turn,
That's
Nigeria.
exactly what I was gonna say. It's
Yeah.
it's a revolving door on who's gonna be the bad guy.
Yeah. Sure. I'm sure you've put out movies where South Africa's the bad guy. And South Africa has a lot of bad guy energy coming back,
Energy,
that it, not really energy, but like has had a lot of bad guy energy in its past. So
sure,
that it's kind of
sure.
still going through. So, you know, man.
But yeah, I don't find the film super preachy, even
Mm-mm.
though the subject matter is pretty obvious on what it's kind of the statements it's kind of trying to make. And yeah, I was enthralled just as much this time, especially with the
Mm.
action. It felt the action to me with the sound design, everything. It felt like a sci-fi version of like Black Hawk Down. Is even shot in a lot of ways
Yeah.
like Black Hawk Down was. Just a lot of handheld, not too much shaky cam, just enough, and the gunplay is really good. Yeah, they're bad guys, but I always thought the special operations that menu like Spec Ops were pretty cool to watch them operate and stuff,
Hmm.
even though they
I
get
mean, they get
owned eventually.
destroyed.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, I mean, when you've got a mech that, has advanced technology and take a lot of damage, like, I mean, it took, not missile shots, but
50 cal.
yeah, 50 cal, like,
It took two
just
or
kind of
three of those 50 cals to like pretty much
break
take
it
it
down.
down,
Yeah.
which is just a credit to the Barrett 50 cal.
Even against advanced alien life
I'm pretty
forms,
confident, even if advanced aliens come, so you got
someone
some
get on the 50
you got
cal.
some tier 1 operators on a 50. I think we're okay.
You heard it here, folks. 50 cows. Oh, oh my goodness. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously, Blomkamp is South African, so he grew up there, and I think grew up in the Johannesburg area, so very familiar. So hence why he probably picked it there. But also, there's between apartheid and also with
Yeah.
like all the poverty, especially in and around Johannesburg, it probably felt very not maybe like cathartic, but like he could work some things or bring light to some things, and in that area of the world where he grew up. So
Now, did you look up the cinematographer?
I did not. No.
So his name's Trent Opalock,
Hmm.
Canadian cinematographer, and so he lenses this, and then he did do Elysium, and
Hmm.
then he shot Captain America: Winter Soldier, and Civil
Oh,
War,
okay. All
and
right.
Infinity War, and Endgame. So he's like the Russo brothers, like
Go-to guy.
handpicked go-to guy now. Yeah,
That's awesome. That's
he's
fantastic.
not worked a ton lately. He's done some music videos and some shorts and stuff. I think he's
But
kind
I
of
mean, after that
chilling out,
run,
but yeah,
he probably made a good amount of money after
yeah.
that
I think
run.
it seems like he's taking a break right now based on his credits and stuff. But
I wonder if he's going to come back because the Russo brothers are doing more Marvel films. Like
I'm
maybe
sure.
they're going to
Well,
tap him.
I don't see anything in pre-production that he's attached to, but
Oh,
like,
okay.
yeah. So he's excellent, excellent. And it was funny, like even some of the action sequences. you watch District 9, then you watch something like Winter Soldier, and it's like, yeah, there's some similarities there with how they're shot and constructed, and he's definitely got the eye
Well,
for action.
hands down, I'm gonna say both that Winter Soldier is probably the best looking Marvel film as well as the best Marvel film
I would agree.
to date, and I'll
It's
go
my
down to
favorite one, but
yeah. It's I consider it like it's number two for me just because of how monumental I felt Avengers was. That's still kind of my favorite, but hands down, Winter Soldier's the best, and it's my second spot. But yeah,
so this guy had done a lot of troubleshooting, I would say, on a movie like District 9 that would have set him up really for success doing a big movie like Winter Soldier and then Civil War. So I'm sure District 9 probably looks a lot simpler compared to some of the set pieces and action sequences in those Marvel films, but it's no less impressive.
yeah,
I like the smaller nature of the battles and combat in District 9. I mean, they don't really ever do anything with like the big ship other than Christopher's command module going back up into it. Like it's a cool set piece in the background. I love the shots of Johannesburg with it in the background. It kind of reminds me of like when you see the Death Star
mm-hmm.
on
It's
the
fun.
just floating. Yeah. It just lends it's a simple effect. Like it's but it was impressive in '09 and it's impressive now to just see that like because they fix it. It's such a simple technique. You can do that in After Effects now. It takes you like 5 minutes to lock the perspective of that object in the sky, and then you can have a handheld camera shot and it stays put.
Stays. That's awesome. Well,
Yeah.
I mean, it's also nice that they did a good job of putting the other atmospheric effects around it and so like
The
that. So
haze. Yep. Very
yeah, so
important.
like
Yep.
it looks like it's really part of the world, and I mean, and it's great too that they have it in so many other shots where it's like it on old like 80 style film looking stuff of when it first arrived and when they have the helicopters flying close in to like get on the board and
I
just
love
it's
my favorite shots in the whole movie are the over the shoulder from inside the helicopter of a MNU like sniper.
yo
And
mm-hmm,
you see the ship in the background.
in
It's
the
just
background.
super convincing.
Yeah,
It's like it instantly sold it. I'm
this
a
just goes to
huge yeah, go ahead.
this just goes to show you that you don't need all of the CGI and all of the graphics making things look crazy out of this world. Like just a little goes a long way and actually can make it feel better and more real than, say, I have everybody with a green screen so I can throw whatever I want in the background. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I've always been kind of partial to fixed perspectives from places that a camera operator would normally be able to get to. Not that I'm opposed to drone. I think drone shots have their place for sure, and it's opened up a whole. I mean, we use drone at work, and
Yeah.
it's just opened up a whole way of filming things that we didn't have before. You would have had to have rented a helicopter. But I like if you're going to get above something like that, it's either in the helicopter or you're on a tall building or something that where the camera's not like 360 floating around, flying around all the time, like you see in so many Marvel movies.
Hmm.
And this film doesn't do that.
No. And it's going back, it needs to be purposeful for why you're up to seeing that high. Like for me, we've done a couple of videos where we've used drone footage and it's like we're trying to get that exiting shot or that opening shot or something to kind of essentially the establishing shot or the clearing out shot, so like it has a purpose. It's not just like, oh hey, I mean, one, it does look great, but it's also like, hey, we're leaving you, this is the end, or like we're coming in, as opposed to just let's randomly do the entire thing in overhead drone footage shots. Like
Yeah.
that doesn't serve a purpose in a lot of ways,
Yeah. Yeah. It becomes kind of a crutch at that point.
where you're just trying to do it just for, oh, it looks cool, as opposed to the purpose of
Yeah.
why you're shooting the shot. And I think that's the difference. It's like you can tell when someone has purposely said, need to have an drone footage or helicopter shot. Like, for example, I was going to really say the Spy game, where they do the helicopter shot around where they're talking, but that's just a fun shot. That's not, I don't know, there's an actual real purpose of why he chose that shot.
No.
Just looks cool. But like in that example, there's that. And then you find some that like, that having that is super purposeful and not just doing it just for because it's cool or looks better or whatever. Like it needs to be part of the story or it needs to be part of characters' viewpoints or those kind of things, I think really help drive them. Kind of like what you're talking about, like a lot of the shots from the helicopter because you're in the helicopter with MNU snipers and such.
Yeah, and the visual effects benefit from them shooting under really harsh lighting conditions, so the flaws in the CGI models are hidden under hard shadow and light, which you normally wouldn't want to shoot under the lighting conditions that they shot those sequences. You would want soft light in their mid
Yeah.
morning or afternoon, and they're clearly shooting probably around anywhere from 11 to 1 p.m. with really hard light, and it works great.
Yeah.
By and large, every Christopher feels like a fully realized creature, and his son, which I love. Like I love that dynamic and how smart his son is. Like his son's like probably smarter than him in a lot of ways, and it humanizes them.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I mean, that bond and that you're trying to teach and trying to protect, yeah, just shows that transcendent. Yeah, it's good. I mean, it did obviously pretty well. It was, $30 million budget and made 210 million worldwide at the box office. So, I mean,
well, I
and
thought
that
it
doesn't
made
even,
more than 210, but that's
I mean, seven
pretty good.
times. Yeah. I mean, then obviously this movie was still out when DVD sales were still pretty big, and so
Yeah,
I'm sure it made a killing. I mean, obviously I have a copy. I'm pretty sure you have a copy of this. I know other people who bought a copy because of just kind of not groundbreaking is not the right word, but just how good it was and how well done it was put together. It's like this is a movie that you had on your shelf.
yeah, it was kind of one of those sleeper movies in some ways of '09. And I think that's why it's still not really talked about. I don't think that many people have seen it compared to a lot of other movies. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't put it in the same class as like, Blade Runner or Alien or Aliens or T2 or any of those, but it's still very deserving of its like almost 8.0
hmm
IMDb rating. I think is right in line with, I would probably give it an 8.
That's 7.9. So I was like, that feels I'm pretty good with that too.
Yeah,
So
it does. It does.
like it's just really solidly put together. It's just got great characters. Even the aliens, it has a good story arc, and it kind of leaves you on a little bit of a hook too. Like it's not
I think the ending
it.
is tremendous.
Yeah, well, because it's not a happy ending. It's not. I mean, it's not Rocky style. Bad, but it's also like I mean, it's semi depressing a little bit.
A little bit, but there's some hope there too. Like
Yeah.
it's yeah. I just remember coming out of it, the ending and that the score is really kind of subtly pretty
hmm
great. And when that final credit hit, I was just like, wow, this one's special. Like you just
hmm
kind of know. Like
Yeah.
I always knew coming out of movies like this that once the credits rolled, I was like, yeah, that's like a tremendous piece of filmmaking. Like these don't come around all the time, and that one was. I was trying to remember what the release date was when we saw this. Okay, August. So August of '09. Yeah, I remember going to the cinema.
Yeah. I don't remember if we went and just went one of the local theaters that we actually saw it at Universal City Walk, but
No, we wouldn't. It
yeah,
didn't
not
have an
this
IMAX release. We would have gone to either
AMC or
AMC or ArcLight. It's a distinct possibility.
yes, we probably would have gone. We would have gone to ArcLight probably.
Which rest in peace, ArcLight.
Still, my goodness.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good stuff.
good stuff. I mean, I don't have much else
Oh,
about
I
this
did.
film.
I did want to state for the handful of listeners that we have. I did have to change my setup because we switched houses,
Yeah.
and if anybody wants to buy my old house with the projector in it, they're more than welcome to. It's still for sale. But I was gonna put a projector in the new place, and the basement's got a lot of natural light, which I'm not complaining about. It's very nice. It's got a walkout, and so but it's not conducive to putting a projector in there. At least not at the price point that I'm willing to spend, because I would have needed an ambient light rejecting screen, and
hmm
it's a whole thing. So I put a
So
75-inch Panasonic in there.
nice.
and it's not an OLED. It's mini LED, but it's tremendous. And I have to say, in this movie, I was watching my Plex server 480p standard def DVD 5.1 of District 9, and that stinking Panasonic up-res the snot out of this movie, and it looked like I was watching the Blu-ray.
Yeah.
It was that close, and it's just a credit to the chips in these televisions now that they can upconvert all this old content I've got, and I'm like, man, I don't know if then I'm, I'd love to own this on Blu-ray, but I don't know if I'm that motivated now, because I'm not watching it that often, right? Like, I might watch it every couple years or something, and so for me to have the chip that's in this, and I think LG's and Sony are the other two, arguably probably a little better. I have a sweet spot for Panasonic, and the fact that they decided to come back to the US after 8 years, I was like, okay, I'll go that route again. And the Black Friday deal was tremendous. Like, yeah. But yeah, it did an amazing job of upconverting the whole movie. Like, I was like, I can't believe this is like on a 4K set, 75 inches, and this is the image I'm getting from a DVD rip.
Yeah, I was like, it's a compressed version of it. It's not even like the DVD.
Heavily compressed, and it was flawless. Yeah.
So I think we pulled out the DVD for it and played it on the 4K, and
it probably did the same thing.
Yeah, I was kind of like you and I were kind of chatting back and forth, texting, just like I was stunned at how good it looked on it, and I was just kind of like, man, for standard def, this looks fantastic, but But the other thing is, I just laugh the fact that you've gone all this time with a projector. The moment I get a projector, you lose yours. So, man, I mean, just is it a rule that one of us, only one of us, can have a projector at a time and such?
It's like the DeLorean can only be at one place. Except like that's not true either.
That has some dark theories. That movie series has some dark theories to it.
Those are fun. Yeah, I love those.
Yeah. So, well,
I don't have anything else to add with District 9. I would encourage anybody that's listening that hasn't watched it, or hasn't watched it in 10 years like it had been for us, to definitely give it a go again, give it its due. It's tremendous. And there's not the list of like really great sci-fi movies made since 2000 is not particularly long, and this is one of them.
Yeah, we're doing some on the podcast or on the series, but yeah, you're right, that are solid.
Yeah, that offered something no one had really seen before. That's kind of what your expectation is if you're gonna play in the science fiction space now, is you're gonna have to give the viewer something that nobody's ever really seen and experienced before, and this definitely did that. You'd seen this stuff in other genres, but not in sci-fi.
Okay, well, with that, I just want to say thank you to everybody for giving us a listen for this episode of Cinema A to B. Ben and I always appreciate this, and we will see you next week with a new episode in our season of Sci-Fi.